Hey everybody, Killing Cash here. Cameroon update, whatnot. Wanted to let it say what's up. Let you know that Cameroon was great. Thank you for the everybody's hospitality. My family, my in-laws, everybody. It was a beautiful trip. Thank y'all for many who had tuned in, asking questions on how they could go next. I see Emmanuel on here. He is Cameroon's official tour guide in my eyes. He opened up his business and had some great guests, and we got to hang out a little bit while out there, and it was a beautiful trip. And I want to tell you, not just to tell you, hey, this happened, that happened. I'm going to show you. I took a lot of footage. On the back tail end of the trip, I must have ate the wrong thing. I had my oldest end up in the hospital overnight. She bounced back, thank God, right away. And I had to bounce back, and it took me a week or even longer. Even on the plane, I was sick. Really just going through it. But I'm gonna show you footage. I have footage for you, and we're gonna try to make a little mini doc of whatever we make. Interviews with people. We did an interview with Emmanuel. We were just all over the country, and we're gonna show you more than just tell you. Now, what I can tell you is, for those who really have a genuine interest, because everyone says, oh, I want to travel. Everybody in the world wants to travel. The question is, what are you doing to go on your next trip? Whether that be international, national trip, or just somewhere you've never been, what finances are you putting on the side? What are you doing to collect that extra money? What extra jobs are you doing to collect that extra money? Because it's not cheap to travel, to some places, but we have found international trips. Sudan the other day, we found for about $560 to go to Sudan. Now, many people say, oh, Sudan is in trouble. There's certain areas in Sudan, and of course, you're probably not going to go to those areas. There are certain areas in Cameroon that we didn't go to. And so everything is about where you want to go and how you want to go. The thing is, you don't know what you don't know. So why not link up with somebody like myself who has a company and this is what we do. We research, we travel. God willing, we'll be in Ethiopia in a couple weeks, with the team. And this is just what I do. It's what I do. I like to do it. I like to do it with my family. I like to do it without. Africa was, it's very welcoming, but you have to go in with the right mindset. You also have to come in with the right budget. You have to come in and know, okay, this is what it's going to cost me. Because a little tip, Cameroon isn't necessarily cheap. It's not like people say, oh, you can get, a whole lobster, a whole fish dinner for $12, which you can't get in the States. And if you could, it'd be some plastic fish or whatnot. But the thing about it is, that might be $12, but just you getting a ride there may cost you as much as if you were in New York, depending on where you're coming from. Taxi may cost you, especially if you want to rent a car or have a chauffeur, you want to have a house help. Those things are going to hit. And they might not cost the same thing as America, but some things you'd be surprised that does. Nutella costs the same thing as, it costs more actually out there than it costs here. And to me, Nutella is expensive here. And it was like the same price, if not more. I was at Casino, which is a supermarket in Yaoundé, and I'm like, this costs too much. I said, this costs too much. We're not getting Nutella today. We can, do something else. What's up, Raru? Yeah, we on that travel to Africa movement. And, while we were in Africa, our book in French came out. It's on Amazon. You can just, screenshot that, take a picture, look that up. It's everything is beautiful. That's us eating at the African restaurant, a little sneak peek. But, this is a cool little way for kids to learn French. be exposed. Exposure is everything. And, you know, in Cameroon, I remember a conversation with Emmanuel. We were talking about how he wanted to travel, and we were thinking of ways and businesses. And the travel agency is one of the things that, you know, he already had in plan. And my thing is always just to encourage people, because encouragement is hard to find. Encouragement is something that I personally don't need. I probably need the opposite so I can get stuff done, but it's weird because people can tell you no, 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 and that's when I know it's a hit. But that's you know, our book, when it came out, exposure. You can read a book and get exposed. Emmanuel's read, he's studied, gone to school, all that good stuff, and he knows he wants to travel to places, whatnot, and see, because he's been exposed. Some people hide from that. Yeah, I got to teach the kids, Raru. I got to teach the kids, and I got to teach the older kids and the adults, because a lot of even the adults don't want to, you know, they act like in America, especially, we have this I know. Maybe it's a millennial thing, but everybody knows everything. You know, you could try to tell something about physics and they've never taken physics, and they're like, I know. So got to teach them. Yeah, and it gotta get exposed. So the French book came out. I've got some good little feedback on that, just so people can, you know, get exposed to French. You know, so much of Africa, or even if you go to Paris and different places, French will come in handy, especially if you want to be a traveler, whatnot. You know, I'm in Cameroon. My French is non-existent, but if I need to get around, every time I'm in a French place, I can get around. I'm taking taxis and everything, and I'm pushing this. This is my baton on command, whatnot. Great artwork that I got. You can see the lion, whatnot. But when I have this in my hand, you gotta listen. You have to listen. So you know, exposure. So the book in French came out. So happy about that, because that wasn't an easy task. You know, the translation, wanted to make sure that was perfect and everything was good, and it had to be done by multiple people, even though it's people close. Oh, picture of the cover, Raru. There's the cover of the French book. And people, you can just type in London and Sydney book, and this will pop up. And if you see our names right here, you can always, Kellen and Berthina Coleman, you can put that in Amazon. You can put London Coleman in Amazon, and you can, you know, find our books. You can go to londonandsydney.com. You can go to fomenkipublishing.com. All the information is there, you know, to get these books. We're working on some other books. It's just, you know, God's timing, because I have 22 books in my head, laid out, ready to go. But God's timing is very important. And so, you know, it's all good. But the Cameroon French, you know, getting around, you will learn the basics. You will learn what you need to know to get around, to order food, whatnot. And Cameroon is a bilingual country, but kind of like when you see immigrants in America, when they say they don't understand English, but they can kind of have a basic conversation with you, but they're shy, it's because they haven't practiced enough. And so I think it's really good for Americans to feel that, and to get out of that shyness and try to speak as much French as possible. You know, get it out. You know, get it out. And that's my Spanish kick it in, but I'm back in America, so you gotta do English and Spanish, whatnot. But you know, many Anglophones were taxi cab drivers. You know, they would do English, and happy to do English, and it's all good, you know. And when you're speaking English to anybody, no matter if you're in Africa, Jamaica, even in London, you can't use, you know, certain local slang languages because they're non-existent. But that's, you know, something that we teach in our class before people travel, or if they're looking for their tickets. And people were complaining. They're like, oh, I can't get a booking. Well, July was a very, very busy month, and we were booked. I was booked. You know, it's always when you're traveling, you're booked. I was having all type of deals on WhatsApp. I'm doing people asking, hey, will you be a part of this? Will you be a part of that? Hey, we got this, we got that. I was like, hey, I got a system. Go through this system, go through that person, go through this person. It's all good. But it was, things I can handle, I'll handle. But right there, the cprfirm.as.me, for especially those on Anchor FM who can't see the screen, but you can go see it on YouTube, which it will be all the information, and you'll see the visual if that's what you prefer. It's all there. Cameroon, the people, beautiful. The system, completely different than anything you're going to see in America. Anything, I mean, systems, from the driving system, I've never been sweating when people were driving, even in New York. I remember like going out there to get clue tapes from California to New York at like 15, 16, and like, oh man, they drive fast and wow, but you don't feel endangered. Mexico, different places in the islands, you kind of get that. Like I've driven in the Caribbean, and I'm like, it's cool. Depending on your island, I've driven. I prefer not to drive in Jamaica just because it's a lot easier, and I'm on a different level. You dig? But I've driven in the different islands in the Caribbean, but Cameroon, I would not drive. I'm glad we had a chauffeur. I thank my Tunde, my family, for that. We had a chauffeur as much as we needed, and we didn't have a chauffeur. A taxi, you'll never wait more than 15 minutes for a taxi. You'll never wait 30 minutes guaranteed. And people are like, oh, you don't mind taking a taxi? Like you go from a chauffeur to a taxi? I don't mind, because one, humble yourself and don't go with some privileged mentality, but you never have to wait for a taxi, and it's a lot cheaper than paying the chauffeur anyway, because chauffeur, you got to pay for the car and you're paying for the driver or whatnot. And you're paying, it's nothing like you'd pay here for that, but you're paying, I would say, for a good one, $60 a day. And you can get a better deal. And like I said, I had a connect. So my deal was a beautiful deal, but our driver had some family obligations, and it wasn't really a big deal. Let's take the taxi and do what we got to do. But I would tell anybody who's thinking about going to Africa, hit us up, have a consultation, hit me up so we can consult for 30 minutes, an hour about your goals, your trip. And you can do it right. Excuse me. I'm still on antibiotics, talking all like this. I was going through it. I'm going to spare you the details, but I went through it, and some of that with no medication, because you're thinking, oh, it's just this, it's just that. I was going through it out there, but so forgive the coughing. But Africa has a lot of opportunity. If you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that you will. I saw gold, and some things are in the works even more, because there's so much opportunity, because the system is different. The government, everybody, if you can Google, can see Cameroon itself is going through some issues in certain regions. The government is an older African government. I wish all the old governments in Africa would get out. Like, it's going to be so refreshing in a couple weeks in Ethiopia that, the leadership, new leadership, and new things are getting done. Like, how can you have a government be progressive when they don't even know how to use digital communication, without help, when they don't even live in the country, not even half the time, some of them. How can you have progression when people are just lining up their pockets? And every African country has dealt with this, and even Ethiopia, folks are running out of the country with a hostess just got caught with like $10 million exiting the country. And we're going to talk about it. When I go somewhere, I'm spending my money, and if I ever say too much because it's the truth, then let me just not not be welcome there, because that's not a country I want to be in anyway. But Cameroon, will go back, and we're going to put some things in place that we may not talk about. Some things, you know, I don't want to talk about, I just want to do. But there really needs to be the change in leadership. Everybody knows it. Paul Bia, even if you see this, could you just step down and let somebody who knows about this social media age, this digital age, get in there? And then also to the Cameroonian people, hold on one second. I'm gonna take a sip and let's get into that. You know, change is never just given to you, but to the Cameroonian people, think everybody has a degree. Just like here in America, everyone has a degree, but they don't have enough jobs out there. Like they don't have enough qualified jobs out here. So the Cameroonian people really have to study and push the entrepreneurship and learn what makes a business work, whether you're doing it online, whether you're doing the brick and mortar, whatever you're doing. More Cameroonians are going to have to be entrepreneurs, and not wantrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs. It's one thing to sit and sell this one time. It's another thing to sell 100 of these, and using online platforms and linking up with someone who knows something about that. And that was kind of the part of the trip that's like, not discouraging, but like, okay, there's a lot of growth in the mentality, because I was trying to tell the person who even was selling me this and some other artwork, you know, this, it can be sold online all day, but for them, a website and doing all that was too much work. And, you know, they were talking about having drinks, and we're not talking about partying. An entrepreneur doesn't get to party. You don't get to kick back. I got 10 things on my board over here that have to be done today as an entrepreneur, and they'll probably take till the night, whatnot. And I have a help. I have teams. You know, I have people who help me. I can't do all this myself, but there's 10 tasks I got to do on top of family, on top of handling whatever else, you know, may go right, wrong, in between. You can't have excuses, and you can't always sit back unless you are retired and drink every day. Can't happen. Any culture, any person who's doing that every day, you are self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Hey, that's old school. I should play that, you know. But you can't drink every day and get this done. So I would say the mentality has to change on that, because people are spending, you know, 300,000 CFA on school, where that money could be flipped into a business, because school apparently isn't helping a lot of people. And I say that even here in the US, school is not helping. You gotta, if you're not studying nursing, and you know, I'm biased because of the CNA to MD.com platform that we have. But if you're not studying nursing or some high-end engineering, even coding jobs, people are doing that in prison. They're learning how to do that. So Cameroon, awesome. See a lot of things that, you know, we can get in and invest in business-wise. I'm not talking like, you know, nonprofit stuff. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business guy. So, you know, can I put $2 here, and can I flip it to 2,000 is my mentality. And can I sell, you know, a lot like McDonald's? That's what I'm thinking. But if you want some help, the cprfirm.as.me, we're here to help you. I have so much more I can tell you about Cameroon. I want to tell you about Cameroon, but you know, I don't like to keep you guys all day, and I've been 20 minutes. I want you to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let's link up. Let's build a bridge. You know, we have no time for the haters. Haters have no time, or all the time, just to hate on somebody else, and we don't have time for that. So you guys, for those who want to build, I'm a consultant, so my time cost. Holler at me, get at me. You know, I've made it affordable for everybody who's serious. So check it out. And I thank y'all for the support. Y'all be blessed. Ask me any questions in the comment sections. All right.